Hello everyone, this is Vicki Verley, the Rock and Roll Prophetess, and we're coming at you today to talk about soulmates. Now I'm going to get into the whole romantic soulmate thing and how to find them and all this sort of thing, but let's just start out with what soulmates are. Soulmates are people, souls, entities that you have a fate and a destiny with, and you may have a soul contract with, and you plan to meet in this lifetime. And you have many soulmates. Your parents are your soulmates, your best friends, your children, and maybe even, some people that you don't like so much that could be your soulmates too. The thing is, you have lots and lots of soulmates, and there's many people that you're here. I mean, at the current time, it's like 7 billion people are on the planet. So more and more people are here incarnating. You can definitely find, a group of souls that you're involved with. It's not like you just have your one little group of people anymore. It's a worldwide community we have. So how do we know if we meet soulmates? Well, the first thing is you just feel like you feel right together. You know them. The old expression, oh, we talked 5 minutes and I felt like I knew him my whole life. Well, you did know him your whole life, or you knew him pre-incarnation. I mean, really you knew him. There's probably past lives involved. If you don't believe in past lives, you can just say that before you were born, pre-incarnation, while you were still a spirit waiting to be born, you knew this other spirit, and you made a soul contract, and you planned to meet. A lot of things, what I used to always feel like, before I was really that knowledgeable about it, I would always be like, didn't I go to school with you? I felt like I went to school with them, like maybe like, oh, I know you from way back. Didn't we go to elementary school together or something? And they're like, no. And it's a soulmate thing. There's a flip side to this, though. Also, there's people that, have you met, I'm sure we all have met people that you feel apprehensive towards. And it's like they just rub you the wrong way and you don't really know why. Just something about them makes you want to not be involved with them. Believe it or not, these are also your soulmates. And all soulmates are here. We're all here to teach each other, play out our dramas, learn our lessons, and teach each other things. We're learning from each other. There's also group incarnations, which I talked a little bit about in the past life video, but I want to, I talked more about generational group incarnations. But there's also group incarnations of, groups of people that you interact with all the time, not just your whole generation. For instance, my brother, he had the same group of friends from preschool and kindergarten his whole life. I couldn't even tell you a name of anybody that was in my kindergarten class. But there's this group of friends, and they stayed friends from kindergarten all through school, and they still all hang out together, and they're all grown adults and everything. One thing that I encountered at a group incarnation that was pretty cool. I was at this place. It was a club that a lot of musicians. It was a musician jam night or something. Musicians hung out there. And it was the same kind of group of people there every week, pretty much. And we all play together. We were all musicians. We all play together, in different configurations. And I'm sitting there one night, and I'm talking to somebody, and out of the corner of my eye, smoking was still allowed in bars at that time, and I think somebody must have lit a cigarette. But there was a flash of light, and it was sort of out of the corner of my eye. I'm talking to somebody over here, and I see this flash of light. And I kind of looked, and this flash of light turned into a campfire. And all of us were this camp. And the guy I'm talking to, his whole outfit changed. We were like traveling minstrels. There was the campfire, and there was the wagons, and we were like the traveling minstrels. And so this whole group of people that came to this jam night nearly every week together, we all played together. I realized that we had all played together music too in other lives. We were a little traveling caravan or something. So that was a really cool one that I saw with a group of people. Another one was this person. It was a wedding, and I was talking to some people I went to high school with, and there was a group of us standing around, and somebody said something. I had on boots, with higher, boots, and somebody said, "What are you, a pirate?" or something. Some guy was walking by and said something like that. "What do you think, you're a pirate?" or something like that. And I looked down at my boots, and then the grass below me, it was outdoor, the grass below me turned into wooden planks, and this group of people that I went to high school with, that I was talking to, we were all we were pirates, and we were standing on this ship. So that was another really kind of cool one. But what I want to tell you now, we're going to get into a little bit about the romantic stuff too. So you have these group incarnations, and this everybody wants to find their twin flame and their one and only. And again, if you do have one only twin flame, I'm beginning to believe less and less than that. I mean, I know the theory behind it. It's the original soul that you parted ways and you find yourselves again back together. I'm kind of getting a little bit more and more away from that because I've just seen things, and I think you have lots of soulmates, and there's all these different dimensions or these different scenarios that can play out, and it really depends on where you're at. I mean, maybe you're here and that person's down here. I mean, before you incarnate into life, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and it seems like it's just going to be so easy and you're all charged up, and then you get here and it's like, holy crap, this energy is intense down here. So maybe it's not as easy to accomplish all the life goals that you set out to before you actually got into it. This came to me really, really clearly. My parents own a bar. I spent many years working in the bar and playing in bars and stuff. And part of being a bartender is, you listen to people's problems. It's definitely part of the job. People come in, tell you their troubles. That's part of the deal. So there's a particular person. At this point in my life, I was with somebody, and it was at the end stages of the relationship. We were about, it was coming to an end, and we were fighting a lot and not getting along. So there's this person, I'll call him Sam. He came in and he was telling me, and I want to preface this by saying there always kind of was like an attraction between Sam and I, but we just never timed out right, just never seemed to time out right. So the Sam guy comes in, and he had just broke up with his girlfriend, and so he's sitting there and he's telling me, all the stuff, we broke up and all his troubles, and I'm just sort of halfway listening. I'm sorry, but I wasn't really listening that closely. Then all of a sudden he said, yeah, and she quit smoking, and she wanted me to try to quit smoking. And then it was like ding, 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 because that was something that the guy that I was with was also going through. I quit smoking. I wanted him to try to quit smoking. And then I really started listening to what this Sam person's saying, and he's, rattling off all the things that were going on in the relationship, and every single one of them was stuff that I was doing with the boyfriend that I was with at the time. And it was like, wow. That was a mind blower. It just came to me. It's like, okay, so maybe there was this attraction between me and Sam. And you think to yourself, when your relationships are going bad, you think, well, it's his, this person's a jerk or whatever, and maybe if I went with this one, it would be different. But that showed me the exact opposite. That I could have played out that drama with him just as easily. I mean, I could have been with this Sam, and we'd still be at this juncture. We'd still be working out these same list of problems that was going on in both of our lives with different partners. So that was like a big thing to me. That was just like hit me like a ton of bricks. It's like, I see that now. I get that. Some other things like these missed attractions, because sometimes I'll get stuff when people pass. I've not always, but I do get that from time to time. And there was a couple of people that died. There's more than one. There was 2 different people that passed away and came to me and showed me some things, and I had very little involvement with them in life, very little. The first one was somebody that I'm going to call him Dave. That's not his real name. This Dave that I went to junior high school with, and I think I did have like a little crush on him in junior high, but I don't even know that we even ever spoke. This was like whenever, junior high school. So this was like last year, and I had this intense dream about him. And it was this beautiful, lovely dream. And then I woke up and I'm just like, well, let me Google him. I wonder if he's still around or what's he doing these days. So I Google him. Top of the list was his obituary. And he had just died real recently. I don't know. It was like a week or so after he had died. I missed the funeral and everything. But he came to me, and I think it was like we were supposed to have some more intense interaction, but we missed the boat totally on it. And now his life's over. It never happened. It's not gonna happen now, right? And then there's another one. I'm gonna call him Mark. It's not his real name. He was somebody that I knew, a fellow musician, and we jammed together and stuff, and we had a good rapport. And there was, again, somewhat of an attraction. I guess it would be the same thing, like never timed out right. Passed away, and I had this intense thing. He showed me all sorts of stuff, and this is out there, but he even showed me, I'm going to just say it, he showed me a future incarnation where he was going to be my father, and I'm this little blonde girl playing a guitar, And, you know, I knew he's blonde in this life, so I'm like, and he had a daughter. So I asked around, you know, I said, does his daughter play guitar? Did he teach her daughter to play guitar? And everybody's like, no, his son plays guitar, but the daughter doesn't play guitar. So I thought, well, maybe it was just, I mixed it up. You know, so I'm like, I didn't want to even think it could go that far. You know, I'm just like, oh, I must have messed that up. That's probably his daughter in this life. And, you know, I was just tuning into that, and I got my wires crossed, but it wasn't, and I knew it wasn't. He was showing me a future incarnation where he's going to be my father, and he's going to show me how to play music and nurture me, you know, musically, I guess. But there was more involved. That's kind of personal. I don't want to get into it. But at the end of that, he embraced me, and we just floated back down, you know, into, and I went off to sleep, and I was really, really beautiful. So, and again, in this incarnation, we had very little interaction. We played together a few times, you know, and it was but we obviously had some kind of huge life plan together, but we missed the boat. And you know, that happens, you miss the boat. But that doesn't mean you're going to wander around aimlessly and be miserable forever. There's other people that come along. Or maybe, you know, like we said before, you start out, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and one person accomplishes it and the other one doesn't. So your paths never meet. They don't intersect. So how do you find your soulmate? You know, how do you do that? You know, well, it's, you know, there's 7 billion people on the planet right now. So if your soulmate is, you know, you have plenty of soulmates that are incarnated at the same time as you. And they could be across the world. You know, we got YouTube, we have all this stuff now. They might not be in your hometown or something like that. It's built into nature too, I think. There's a great thing about the penguins, and there's a sea of penguins, and they don't see them with their eyes. They do some kind of clicking, and they hear them, and they hear their clicking, and they can find their mate among these thousands and thousands of penguins. So it's shown in Mother Nature. I'm a big fan of Messages by Moonlight. I totally copped this from a movie. I'll show it over here, but it's with Sandra Bullock and the sisters and the witchy sisters that live on the island and everything. I love that movie. But she does that. She's out on the balcony in the full moon, and she says, "Hear my call from miles away." And I use that all the time. And I use that for all sorts of messages, not just to try to attract a love mate or anything. If I want anybody I'm trying to reach that I don't have a way to reach them, you know, through technology, I send them a message through Moonlight, and I use those words, "Hear my call from miles away," and they will. They'll call me, or I'll find, or the universe will make it happen. You know, I'll run into them. A lot of people too, I find, especially when I was doing the readings, a lot of women, you know, you get caught up on this man, whoever, and it didn't work out. And you're still hanging on to it for months and years later, and it's just like, oh, but he was my soulmate, he was my soulmate. You know, maybe he was a soulmate, but maybe he isn't the right one for you. And as long as you're looking backward at what went wrong, you're never going to see the right one coming in. And I'm telling you, there is more than one. And if it didn't work out, it's not the right one. And maybe it's just you're getting closer, you're getting closer. So if he was your soulmate, your one and only, what made him that? Was it, you know, because he did this, this, and this? You know, those are the things you're pulling. You're getting closer. You're getting closer. But if you just stop there and just cry about it, and oh, he's my soulmate, and you know, it's 3 years later, and I'm still waiting for him. Come on now, that's not. Also, you're going back to that pain. You know, he dumped me. He didn't want me. Whatever. Stop going back to that pain. You know, you're a beautiful spirit, yeah, and you deserve to have happiness, and you're gonna have happiness. You just gotta be open up to it and realize that you do have more than one soulmate. That guy was there for a reason at that time, and you just got to keep moving forward, keep moving forward. You're getting closer. Don't get hung up in the hurt and the misery, because you're only creating more hurt and misery. Okay, so Message by Moonlight. Be open, be happy, look forward, be loving within yourself to attract love to you. And I'm going to end this with the rock and roll quote. Is from a little band called Heart, the sisters Wilson, Ann and Nancy, and it's from a song called Magic Man. And the quote is, "We'd seen each other in a dream. Seemed like he knew me. He looked right through me." Yeah. All right, remember, you are love and beauty incarnate. This is Vicki Verley, the Rock and Roll Prophetess. Thank you for donating, thank you for watching, thank you for commenting and liking, and I'll see you next time. Hello everyone, Vicki Verley here, Rock and Roll Prophetess. I want to tell you a little bit about how I combine creativity and spirituality through creating the Tapestry of Life Mandalas. I started out being able to see past lives really early on as a child, and my own as well as other people's. By the 1990s, I was receiving past life information through astrology charts, and not just doing the astrology work. This was intuitive. This is a psychic thing. It's as if I use it as a scrying wheel, and I get information by looking at your chart and looking at your wheel. This is what I now call doing a soul reading. By the late 1990s, I started seeing colors and visions of the colors and designs coming through in the charts as well. And this is when the Tapestry of Light Mandalas were born. Creating the mandalas is quite a process that can take up to 5 or 6 hours to complete. And what you end up with is a one-of-a-kind piece of art just like you. People get a lot out of these mandalas. You can look at them and start seeing things on your own. It's a great scrying tool. It's a great object of art for sacred space. Along with the mandala comes a soul reading, which I do from your chart. I also offer just the soul reading, and what we're going to be offering also is a computer-generated past life reading based on Edgar Cayce, which is quite insightful, but I'll let you know that it is computer-generated based on the Edgar Cayce readings, and I do not personally do those. So go to the site www.tapestryoflifemandalas.com to learn more. And remember, you are love and beauty incarnate.